let's also move on to another movie came out a little more recently. Shiva Baby. I don't know how I don't know how you pronounce this because
Is it Shiva or Shiva? Neither of us are Jewish, so we don't know.
yeah, I'm
Look
pretty
it up.
sure it's Shiva. Um, the baby part of it is the really interesting word for the title. We'll talk about that. But this is a Emma Seligman um, film. I think this actually might be her first film, if I'm
Directorial debut,
correct.
yes, an extension of a short of the same name she had previously made.
And again, just like Mofi, we're not seeing a lot of like really well known actors in this. There's maybe, you'll probably recognize like Fred Melamed, from a lot of things.
Yeah.
Maybe Jackie Hoffman. Um, but it really, I think Molly Gordon was the one I recognized most.
Yes. Book smart.
Um, yeah, and then also Diana Agron, who
Yeah.
I knew from Glee, and she's great in this. We'll talk about her in a second. But this is a comedy. Dave, did you find this movie to be really funny?
Yeah. Well, the obvious comparison you've seen a lot is it's bisexual uncut gems, but even more Jewish. It's and the
Wow,
reason it's uncut gems is because of the claustrophobia and
the
the
tension.
tension and the
Yeah.
anxiety that the audience feels throughout because the movie does not let you get off the hook. It's a
Mm-mm.
movie that's what 70 something minutes long,
Yep.
but does not feel short, and that's because of how tension filled the story is,
It's
right?
brutal.
And I really loved it, and I actually was dying laughing at the very end at the van scene.
Oh,
I lost it at the end there.
yeah. The van scene I think was the funniest part, just because like there's like some sort of ending coming, you can kind of like relax. But yeah, so many moments in this that I feel like I should have laughed at. I just had this like gut wrench in my stomach where I was like, oh, this is so tough to watch. Just like all these interactions go this way, and just like the subtext around everything.
Yeah.
But I think that's what makes this movie so good and so well written is, not only do you have this funny premise where, Rachel Sano, or maybe Sana, I
Yeah.
can't,
Mhm.
plays Danielle, this, kind of teenager who's going to school for what's it, is their gender study degree, I
Something
believe.
like
And
that. Make your own major or something.
yeah,
She's the butt of many jokes as a result.
and she lives at home with her parents, maybe not living up to the expectations of the rest of the people within this community. She's on a website called Sugar Daddy where she finds these men who want to pay her to do
Yeah.
things, and she
It's a
does
real
them.
thing.
Yeah, and she goes to sit Shiva for a community member that's died, and basically has to interact with her parents and all the other people in this community who are just
Right.
on her case about what's actually going on with
In
her.
the presence of her sugar daddy.
Yes,
It's
yeah, and then the sugar daddy shows up with
who
his
happens to be married with a child. It's
very recent child. It's a
yeah.
lot.
It's like, oh my god, you can't imagine, right? Because there's so much going through her head. It's like, oh shit. It's like, does she feel bad because she didn't know he was married? And it's like, and then like he learns more about her life and like how she was lying to him for the money, blah blah blah. And it's like, huh. And I feel like the sugar daddy thing has been more out in the open. I don't know. It's like it's a secret, but like seeking arrangements, people know the website. Like it's I feel like it's ripe for more exploration, which is funny because uh, the director has teamed up with Adam McKay to make a HBO comedy series called Sugar about this very thing. And I'm like, man, a week to week 30-minute comedy about a sugar baby in like New York or something. That
Yeah,
sounds like a great show.
it
Like,
really does. Like
yeah.
I was thinking about like that show. Was it Love or whatever it is, or not?
Mhm.
Not Love. The other one. On Netflix where they kind of
You?
follow different characters. Maybe it's you. No,
I
I
don't
can't remember it, but
know.
yeah, they follow like a bunch of different characters. Has like Dave Franco in
Modern
it,
Love, is it?
something like that.
Oh,
But
whatever. Okay.
I feel like that's like the perfect model
Yeah.
for it, and just kind of follow different people around week to week. Um, but yeah, no, this is a great premise. The writing I think is really really good. I think for not being a member of this community, but
Yeah.
knowing people within the Jewish community, and also I think some of the stereotypes around like some of the ways people interact within this community they really play up it like some of these stereotypes a bit, but they're really done in a funny way, and I also feel
Yeah.
like pretty respectful way
Yeah.
still.
Sure.
Um, just really, really good. I
Yeah.
really like the aunts, like who are just like
Oh, totally.
out there and weird.
Yeah, I mean, again, like it feels authentic, even though I can't actually verify that as a non-Jewish person. But like, man, like there's just like Jewish slang and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds right. That sounds
Mhm.
really good the way you're saying it. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sure, you know, I really love the parents uh, casting as a Polly Draper and Fred Melamed,
Mhm.
and like apparently there's a little bit of riffing for some of their lines, but they're perfect the way they just completely harass and embarrass their daughter, you know.
Oh
And
my god,
I
yeah.
mean, Rachel Senow as Danielle, as our lead, I think she does a really good job of communicating this kind of weird inner turmoil while trying to play it cool and slowly failing at just about everything she needs to do in this situation. You know, again, it can be anxiety and cringe inducing to watch, but man, is it really funny, honestly, when you think about it. And she also is re teaming up with Emma Seligman. They're making a comedy movie called Bottoms. So I'm looking forward to seeing more from these two.
Yeah, no, for sure. Um,
Wait, so tell me about Kim. Tell me about Diana Agron. She plays the wife of the sugar daddy.
yeah, so she plays Quinn Fabre in Glee, right? And that's how I first came to know her. And she's great in Glee as basically like the popular cheerleader Barbie doll type who's
Hmm.
dating the jock, whatever. And she's supposed to be the foil to um, forgetting her name from Glee, the lead
Lee Michelle.
person, Lee Michelle, yes,
Yeah,
and she does it really well. What I really love about her in this, and what I think is so good, is she knows something is going on, but she plays it so cool, and I find her to be so fucking likable in this role, even though she's supposed to play this like Upper East Side rich snob
yeah,
who should not be relatable. And all I'm thinking this is like she is playing it so cool, calm, and collected when she knows that her husband is obviously has something going on here that's nefarious. And I just think her delivery on a lot of things is so like direct, but like
yeah,
indirect at the same time. Just really well done. What did you think about her in this role?
yeah. No, I thought she was really good for sure. Like the way like she's like subtle like side eye when
Yeah,
she's like assessing the situation as she's hearing people talk and is like, huh, what the fuck?
yeah.
Why do you have the same bracelet as me? You know, stuff like that.
Well,
And then really at the end, where it's like, oh no, no, we got a car coming, like we'll call an Uber, and it's like
uh,
and they just go in the van, just completely defeated at the end.
yeah.
It's tremendous.
I really loved when she was like, "No, she's a babysitter. She can do this." Like, and like just the way she kept like harping on that, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like this is, but that also felt so real. Like if you were like trying to catch someone in something like that, you're just like, "No, like that's they can do this. It's what they said
Yeah.
they are." Like, really, really liked her in this, and I haven't seen her in a lot of things, so just kind of seeing her back in and I don't know doing something like this again is really cool.
Also, a really good moment for between Rachel and Molly Gordon, where they first talk about Kim, and they're like, "Oh, she's so beautiful. She's like the definition of beauty to me." And then Rachel's like, "Oh no, she's like totally like fine and normal." And it's like, "No, dude, she's like really, really hot." And the movie does a really good job of like highlighting that, like in a tasteful way, and like having the characters play off of that. You know, really good. Not to mention, yeah, the bisexual nature to it all. Like, you have this relationship between ex fling also being there, right? It's like, I can't imagine what would have been like to be in Rachel's position, right? Because you have your ex lover in addition to your current sugar daddy in the same room with your
Hmm.
parents. Oh man, so good.
Yeah, it's a lot. Check out Shiva Baby